and happy Friday. My name is Steffi and welcome to My Date with a Ghost. This is a series on my channel that combines two of my favorite things, food and all things spooky. I tell you a spooky story while you join me for lunch. Almost like a mukbang podcast. So take a seat, grab a snack, and follow me into the world of the supernatural. All I'm missing is a flashlight and thunder. Alright, so I have my glove for the burgers. I have a fork for the fries, and I have my mug for my water. So before I begin telling you about this week's topic, let me go ahead and tell you about this week's lunch. I ordered Fuku Burger, which is a very popular and busy local burger place. They started off as a food truck and now they have two locations, one in Chinatown and one in like Mountain's Edge area. So I got a mushroom burger, which is an all-beef fuku patty with grilled shiitake mushrooms, pickled red ginger, teriyaki, and finished with a wasabi mayo. And then I got jazz fries, which are crispy garlic salt fries topped with brown gravy and crack sauce. And then I got extra crack sauce because I love the crack sauce. I don't know what's in it, but it is so good. It's almost like a mayo with stuff in it. I don't know, but it's so good. Almost like their garlic salt seasoning is in the mayo along with like something else. I don't know, but it's so good. I always have to get extra. Always, always, always. I'm gonna eat this mushroom here. Let me start with the burger. The happiness that this brings me is unreal. So I've actually never gotten their jazz fries. I typically just get, I don't know which one I want. I typically just get their regular fries and I dip it in the crack sauce. I've never had gravy on their fries. I know that I think this is the same gravy they use for the locomocos that they make. That's really good. That's like unreal. And this place is always busy. I picked up my order around 1, so like lunchtime, and the line wasn't quite going out the door and around the building. Oh my goodness, it was so busy. There were so many people. You can put in an order online, which is what I did just to kind of make it easy. But oh my goodness. And like the restaurant's relatively small, so like there's a lot of people sitting, plus like just this really long line. But it's really good. I mean, there's a reason it's busy. Okay, let me take one more bite of the burger and then I'll start. I'm gonna have to move. Okay, so this week I decided to talk about a haunted museum. I picked the Cleveland Museum of Art. It was founded as a trust in 1913 and it opened its doors in 1916. It is internationally renowned for its collection of Asian and Egyptian art, and it has over 61,000 permanent pieces of art from around the world. As for the history of the museum, there isn't anything too crazy. They've just done a whole bunch of construction on the museum, but nothing too crazy. There's nothing historic besides that. So the most famous haunting comes from a photo that was taken in October of 2015. The museum director took a photo of the staff kind of finishing up this installation that they were putting in. It was like the last day that this installation was being worked on before it opened. It was called Painting in the Modern Garden, Monet de Matisse. But so in this photo, there's a man standing at this like glass balcony overlooking everybody. And this man is bearded and has a hat. He's kind of all like black and white, gray. And so after looking at photos, it's believed that this is Monet himself. I mean, the museum states that they didn't Photoshop the photo. There's nothing like funny about the photo. It wasn't modified in any sort of way. And they have yet to be able to identify the man that was overlooking everybody, but it looks so much like Monet that like what are the odds This sighting was like so popular that it gained the attention of local news. So a news team went in to kind of paranormal investigate a little bit. So of that local news station, there was a local reporter that actually experienced something of her own. She had her picture taken staring at the colossal head of Diva, and in the reflection behind them, there's like a window. The reflection is different from what the head actually looks like. The eyes look wide open and the mouth looks like it's hanging open. The museum and the news tried to recreate the photo and they were not able to. I've decided that whenever I go to Cleveland, I guess I have to visit this museum. One, for the art, but two, to try and recreate this photo. Or to see if I experience any of the things that these other people have experienced, you know? There's a really interesting balance between this crack sauce and this gravy. This gravy is like salty, but like not overly salty, but it's like salty. But the crack sauce is sweet. So it's like interesting. So the local news also had a camera set up in like the West Wing. And one of the alarms were tripped. But in person they only heard one alarm. But when they played back like the recording, there was like 2 separate alarms in 2 separate locations that were recorded on the camera. So this reporter had not one but 2 different experiences in this museum. So the interim director of Ingalls Library and Museum Archives at Cleveland Museum of Art showed the reporter pictures from 100 years ago, from 1916. The art from back then is actually now located in the West Wing, where a lot of the paranormal activity is experienced. So in the same gallery, there is a mirror that people look into. There have been multiple reports of people looking into this mirror and people seeing a man standing behind them, but when they turn around, there's nobody there. In a gallery located in the original space of the museum, known as the 1916 building, one of the original directors have actually been seen. William Matheson Malokin has been seen wandering the space. He started working at the museum in 1919 and became the second director in 1930. In all, he worked at the museum for 38 years. He retired in 1958 and passed away in 1978. Under his guidance, the museum gained an international reputation. Can you imagine loving a place so much that you worked at, that's where you spend your afterlife? I mean, I guess haunting a museum would be cool. But like your place of work, haunting it since you died, 1978? How long ago was that? 43 years? Can you imagine haunting a place that you used to work at? For 43 years, you worked there. For 38, you were retired for 20, and then for 43 years, you've been haunting it? Like, imagine you were working at like a McDonald's or like a casino. I guess a casino wouldn't be that bad. It could at least go so much more exciting. I just imagine it being a cute little old man, because he's seen wearing his tweed coat with his little elbow patches and like a folder under his arm. The staff didn't realize, didn't make the connection until they looked at like past photographs from the museum. Do you think you'll ever know that you're not gonna find a mate? You can mating call all you want. No female peacock is gonna show up. So it's been reported that in the West Wing and in the 1916 building, night guards have issues with their flashlights in these parts of the museum. So their flashlight will turn on and off, it'll flicker. They walk into these parts of the museum. As soon as they walk into the room, their flashlights will turn off. When they walk out, the flashlights will be able to turn right back on. During renovations, there were some workmen that had similar issues with their hard hats that had the lights on the front. Same thing, walk into the area, light would turn off, walk out of the area, light would turn on. So another haunting involves an oil painting of Jean-Gabriel, painted by Jean-Gabriel. It's been quoted that he is the man in gray, and he's actually like staring at his own painting. This corner of the museum actually had a lot of like water and electrical issues, so the painting was taken down and put into storage, and once that painting was put into storage, people stopped seeing him. And lastly, there's a little boy that has been seen racing around the corridors of the museum who looks a lot like a little boy in a painting that's hung up somewhere in the museum, even down to like the unique clothing that the boy in the painting is wearing. It's some spooky stuff. I will definitely be going whenever I go to Cleveland for baseball. I will be there. I will check it out. I will recreate the photo of the colossal head. I will look for the little boy painting. The Jean-Gabriel painting is no longer hung up apparently, but I will be there, and I will look, and I will see, and I will report back. Well, I hope you enjoyed my spooky story. I'd like to thank Fuku Burger for existing. Thank you for joining me for lunch, and I will see you same time next week.